So it's end of the season, and I guess it's time to give out the Tops and the Flops award for the Ghanaian players I brought in. It's been kind of difficult doing the tops more than the flops because quite a few Ghanaian players have had a pretty good season. So I don't know what you guys think. You can tell me who you think are your tops and your flops, but these are mine with some honorable mentions. So to start with the honorable mentions, let me just quickly say that Cercle Bruges Ghanaian midfield of Lawrence Ejekum and Francis Abu. Difficult season for them because they had to contest the relegation playoff, but the two of them have improved considerably, played over 20 games for the team, were massive part of that team. So honorable mention goes to them. But with that out of the way, let me start with this. I'll start with Jonas Ajete. He comes in at 5. So Jonas Ajete plays for FC Basel. He's their starting centre back. They've won the league. They are likely to do a league and cup double. I think he's one of the best young defenders available in the Swiss league. He's Ghanaian. And so big ups to Jonas Ajete. He ends up number 5 on my tops of the season. Number four. Now this was a bit, of a touch and go, but I ended up with Babaraman. Now, people will say, what? Yeah, Babaraman is 30 years old, but hey, for the past 2 years at PAOK in Greece, he has been absolutely balling. Had a really good season. 5 goals with 2 assists in over 30 games, played well in the European competition as well. Can't hold it back for Babaraman. We give credit where credit is due. So, Babaraman, you are at number 4 in my top of the season list. At number 3 is Ransford Yeboah Koningsdorfer, but he has to share that. He has to share that for me. So Ransford Yeboah Koningsdorfer plays for Hamburg SV. Scored 14 goals this season as Hamburg, one of the biggest teams in German football, but have fallen on hard times because they've been playing in the lower tier, qualified back to the Bundesliga. Now, I don't know why Koningsdorfer doesn't get enough game time for the Black Stars. He's played only 4 times for Ghana, even though he's been called up several times. I hope he gets some game time in the future. But for now, he's had a good season and he's repping quite high up on my list. He's sharing that with Mohamed Gaddafi Husseini, who's won the league title with Union Saint-Gilloise. Now, right to dream and Norgerland, I don't know what happened with this boy and you let him go, but he seems to have found his way. And in Belgium, this season, Union Saint-Gilloise have won the league title. Congratulations to them and to Mohamed Gaddafi Husseini. He scored 9 goals, 1 assist, did his bit. I think that he's done a considerably good job to share the number 3 slot with Yeboah Koningsdorfer. Do you think he should have been higher? Let me know. At number 2, of course, who do I have number 2? Thomas Partey of Arsenal. I think this was Partey's most consistent and impressive season in a very, very long time at Arsenal. We saw his quality in the Champions League in some of their most crucial games. And looks like he has earned himself a contract renewal at Arsenal. So Thomas Partey, for the season you've had, you're number 2 on my tops of the Ghana players abroad list for the season. Number 1, who do you think? I'm sure it's easy to guess. Shouldn't be too hard. I think Antoine Semenyo has had a breakthrough season. A picture of hard work and determination. If you look at this kid, has come all the way through from Bristol City to become one of the most wanted wingers in the English Premier League. Prices being quoted for him 50 million, 60 million euros for Antoine Semenyo and his 11 goals. Big ups to him. I think that he's been the most impressive Ghanaian player abroad this season. So that wraps up my tops. Now let's go to the flops. Like I said, the flops was easy to do. At number 5 on my flops list is Mohamed Kudus. Now he falls to 5 because I think if you look at where Mohamed Kudus was last season and his performances this season, I think he's been nigh on underwhelming would be a decent word to use for him. I think that he's had his mind elsewhere for the second round of the season. I won't be surprised if he does move on from West Ham. So he ends up at number 5. Number 4 is Osman Bukari, who moved to the MLS to Austin FC and hasn't taken off after arriving from a very impressive stint in Serbia with Red Star Belgrade. Cost them a lot of money. He hasn't really hit the ground running. So we hope he can hit things off. But hey, he ends up at number 4 on my list for the MLS. The season is currently ongoing. But if you look at what he did and now, if you put that together, yeah, that is where he'll end up. Number 3, controversial, but I put Jordan Ayew in there because Leicester City got relegated, honestly. And it wasn't his best season personally. Very, very inconsistent. He's doing brilliant for Ghana, but this is focused on what they've done at their club side. So Jordan Ayew For that, you end up at number 3. Number 2, Kamaldeen Sulemana. He should have been higher up on the list, but that should tell you that the person who ended up at number 1 has had a really bad season. Kamaldeen Sulemana, Southampton's record signing. Southampton have been relegated. A mix of injury and just poor form means that we have never really been able to tell, to see what Kamaldeen Sulemana is capable of in the English Premier League. Has shown bits and pieces. Who can forget what he did to Lenny Euro this season? But that does not mean that it hasn't been a very bad season for him. So he ends up number 2 on my flops of the season list. Number 1 is Salis Abdul Samad, who was at Sunderland on loan in the English Championship. Now, if you look at a player who 2.5 seasons ago was considered one of the premier defensive midfielders in European football when he was at Racing Club Lens, and where he is now, it's quite the drop, huh? Yeah, barely showed up and barely got games at Sunderland. Again, a mix of poor fitness, poor confidence, injury, put everything together. Yeah, Salis, you top my list, but doesn't mean you're a bad guy. Do well, get back on your horse. See you next season. That wraps up the list. Let me know who you think is your tops and who's your flops for the season that just ended from Ghana.